There is a version inside of you that is bigger than the life you are living today, bigger than your fears, bigger than the problems you face, bigger than the approval that, without realizing it, you are still chasing. That version has always been there, waiting for the right moment to come out. And the right moment is now. Imagine waking up with a clear mind, deciding with confidence, acting without hesitation. Think about the feeling of looking at your life and recognizing, in every single detail, the mark of your own choices, that life exists and it is closer than you think. Today, you are going to discover 10 powerful rules that build this new version of you from the inside out. 10 practices that, applied in silence, will give you focus, peace, and the control you have always wanted to have. It does not matter where you are right now. What matters is where you are going from today on. Every habit you will hear here is a door. You just need to decide to walk through. Now focus on yourself, turn down the noise, clear your mind, and feel how everything begins to shift the moment you take control of your own story. Rule 1. Start focusing on your own life. There's a simple truth that changes everything once you accept it. Nobody is going to focus on your life for you. Nobody is going to make your decisions, live your days, pay your bills at the end of the month. Everyone is busy fighting their own fears, their own frustrations, their own failures. Nobody is coming to rescue you. And even knowing this, you still spend your days comparing your life to the highlight reel of other people. Whoever focuses on themselves moves forward. Whoever compares themselves all the time withers in silence. There is no middle ground. Think about it. You wake up with an idea, with energy, with the desire to do things differently. You pick up your phone just for a minute, and in less than 60 seconds, you're already buried in the life of someone you don't even truly know. You start doubting yourself. You feel left behind, not because your life is bad, but because you walked into someone else's edited highlight reel at the worst possible moment. Your focus is lost before the day even begins. The Stoics already knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Do not waste what remains of your life with thoughts about others." While commanding the greatest empire in the world, with enemies on every side, he understood that looking outward was the most sophisticated way of wasting one's own existence. Comparison is like trying to run while staring at your neighbor's feet. You don't fall, but you lose the race. Every second spent watching someone else's window display is a second stolen from building your own. Picture someone you know who maybe isn't smarter than you, nor more talented, nor more prepared, but they keep moving forward. Why? Because they're busy building themselves while you hesitate, overthink, hold back. Not because you lack the ability, but because you have too much comparison. Power isn't built by watching, it's built by doing. Whoever stays on the sidelines analyzing others hands the advantage on a silver platter to whoever is taking action. Focusing on yourself isn't selfishness, it's responsibility. It isn't arrogance, it's maturity. It isn't shutting yourself off from the world, it's opening yourself up to who you are. It's doing what needs to be done when nobody is watching, when nobody is praising you, when there's no applause and no audience. It's turning down the volume of outside voices so you can hear your own. Whoever gets distracted becomes a spectator. Whoever stays focused becomes the author. So here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, start every morning with one non-negotiable rule. The first hour of your day belongs to you. No phone, no social media, no peeking into anyone else's life. Use that time to write, to plan, to train, to read, or simply to breathe and think about what you want to build that day. By the end of that week, you will feel a difference that no words can capture. The noise dies down, the anxiety gives way, the direction becomes clear. Because clarity isn't born from more information, it's born from less interference. And that's where the turning point happens. The moment you stop searching for answers in other people's lives, your own life begins. Rule 2. Until you control your emotions, they will control you. Every time you answered out of anger, every time you reacted out of pride, every time you spoke at the wrong moment, you were the one who got hurt and lost ground. And the worst part is, you did it believing you were defending yourself. Think about it. Do you remember that argument that kept you up at night? That message you fired off while you were upset? That impulsive reaction that felt necessary in the moment? Then came the silence, followed by the regret. Why did I say that? In that instant, it wasn't you doing the talking. It was the emotion talking through you. And emotions don't think, they react. The Stoic understands something brutal and freeing. It isn't what happens that hurts you. It's what you do with what happens. Life will provoke you. People will test you. The system will pressure you. The question was never whether it would happen, but how you'll respond when it does. Self-control doesn't make you weak. It makes you untouchable. It's like a rock in the middle of the ocean. No matter how hard the waves crash, it doesn't move. Whoever reacts on impulse is like sand. Any wave wipes their pattern away. Whoever controls themselves is stone, and stone doesn't change. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This was the man who governed the greatest empire in the world, surrounded by traitors and threats. And even so, he understood that his only true battle was against the urge to react. Picture this scene. Someone ignored you, looked down on you, said something that cut deep. You reacted, you explained yourself, you complained, you fired back. The result, they went on with their day calm and unbothered, and the weight stayed with you. Whoever reacts always pays the price. Whoever provokes you almost never wants a real conversation. They want your reaction. And the moment you react, you hand over on a silver platter exactly what they were after. Every emotional reaction makes you predictable, and whoever is predictable is easy to manipulate. When you make your enemy lose control, control already belongs to you. Living by this rule will spare you from all kinds of emotional impulsiveness. Not everything deserves a response. Not everything deserves an explanation. Not everything deserves your energy. Sometimes real power lies in doing nothing, and that's hard, because the ego wants to defend itself at any cost. But an ego defended in public is an ego defeated in silence. So here is your challenge. In the next 24 hours before any important reaction, give yourself a 10-minute pause. Don't answer messages, don't fire back at insults, don't make decisions while the emotion is still boiling. Ask yourself, if I weren't caught up in this emotion right now, would I still do this? If the answer is no, you just avoided a costly mistake. Lock in that commitment right now. Write in the comments, "I govern myself," because from this moment on, you stop being a hostage to your own reactions and you start building something nobody can take from you, command over yourself. From here on out, fewer impulses, fewer outbursts, fewer reactions. More control, more clarity, more power, because whoever governs themselves will never be ruled by anyone else. Rule 3. Discipline changes lives. There's a place where most lives are decided, and almost nobody pays attention to it. It's not on the stage, it's not in the achievement, it's not in the moment when everything works out. It's in the closed room, on the ordinary day, in the silent exhaustion, when there's no audience, no pressure, no applause. Nobody sees what you do when you're tired. Nobody claps when you keep going, even without wanting to. Nobody recognizes you when you decide not to give up. And even so, you persist. It's at this silent point that everything boils down to one thing, whether your life is going to change or whether it's simply going to pass you by. Most people don't fail from a lack of opportunity. They fail because they don't sustain what they start. They get excited, they make promises, they begin motivated, but when the energy disappears, the discipline disappears with it. They give up not because they can't do it, but because they don't stay long enough. Consistency is continuing when motivation has already left. Discipline isn't a personality trait, it's daily training. It's like a muscle. Either you work it or it withers away. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I'll deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, but I, who have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, must do my duty." He didn't wait to feel good before acting. He acted because it was necessary, and the feeling, when it came as a consequence. Today, a lot of people want big results without accepting small sacrifices. They want the reward without the process, the harvest without the planting. Think about someone you know in this situation. They know what they need to do. They know where to start, but they put it off. Not because they're incapable, but because nobody forces you, nobody supervises, nobody punishes. And that's exactly where the problem lives. Freedom without discipline turns into self-sabotage. Men change when necessity forces them, not when they're given advice. That's why true power isn't found in depending on outside pressure, but in creating inner pressure. Doing it even without wanting to. Acting even when tired. Continuing even when nobody is watching. Discipline isn't intensity. Many people confuse the two. They're intense for 1 week. They demand a lot of themselves for a few days, and then they vanish. But the winner doesn't run the entire time. He walks steadily, every single day. Discipline is getting up when you want to stay still, staying quiet when you want to complain, moving forward when you still can't see the result. When this video ends, choose one single non-negotiable action for you to carry out by tomorrow. Not 3 actions, 1. It can be reading 10 pages, training for 20 minutes, writing 1 paragraph, waking up at the same time. What matters isn't the size, it's the consistency. Repeat that for the next 3 days, and you won't have changed your life. But you will have proven to yourself that you're capable of keeping the promises you make. And that proof is worth more than any motivation. When you stop depending on willpower, you start building the one habit that supports all the others, the word you give to yourself. That's why you shouldn't chase daily motivation, you should build daily habits. Because one day you realize that what seemed small was exactly what was changing everything. Burn this into your mind. What you do when nobody is watching determines who you'll be when everybody is watching. Rule 4. Stop justifying yourself. You don't need to. Respect isn't something you ask for. Respect is something you earn through your conduct, not through your words. And you've already lost more respect by trying to explain everything than you ever lost because of your mistakes. Most of the time, you explain yourself to people who weren't by your side when you went through the hard moments. Even so, you feel like you owe them something. A justification, some context, a detailed explanation. Maybe this has already happened to you. You made a difficult decision. You set a boundary. You chose a path. Right after the impulse came, it's not really like that. Let me explain it better. Maybe you misunderstood. Not because you were wrong, but because you taught people, without realizing it, that you needed their approval. Whoever explains too much teaches the world to question everything they do. It's like leaving the door of your house cracked open and then complaining about the unexpected visitors. A firm decision is a closed door. Over-explaining is leaving it open, waiting for someone to push it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Don't waste what's left of your life on guessing about other people unless you have some shared benefit in mind." He ruled the largest empire in the world and understood that trying to be understood by everyone was a luxury not even an emperor could afford. Whoever is in charge of something, even if it's only his own life, can't put every decision up for a vote with other people. Think about someone you might know. Someone who acts with firmness, decides, and moves on. They aren't smarter, they aren't more articulate, they may not even have better arguments than you, but they are respected. Why? Because they don't put every choice on the table for debate. When you justify yourself too much, you send a message between the lines. My decision needs your stamp of approval to exist. And the world receives that message in silence and acts on it. The person who lives justifying himself doesn't notice it, but he's in a battle that never ends. Every explanation given creates two new questions. Every piece of context offered invites three new questions. You never finish, because the other person's goal was never to understand. It was to keep you busy explaining yourself. Stop confusing politeness with submission. Not everyone deserves context. Not everyone deserves access. Not everyone deserves answers. Sometimes silence is the most complete answer, and no without an explanation is the most respected stance. That's why, here's your challenge. Over the next 7 days, do a radical exercise. Every time you feel the impulse to justify yourself, hold back for 10 seconds and ask, does this person need to understand, or do I just need their approval? If the answer is the second one, don't explain. Say only what's essential and move on. At the end of the week, count how many times you explained yourself when you didn't need to. You'll be shocked at the number. And you'll see, in practice, how much energy you were draining in battles nobody asked you to fight. Rule 5. Embrace solitude. It is in silence that your true self is born. There comes a moment when the noise fades away. The phone stops ringing. Nobody calls, nobody asks, nobody worries about you. And this is the moment that almost no one can bear to sit with. Maybe you are in that situation right now, not because you are antisocial, not because you are cold or distant, but because you no longer fit in the places where you once belonged. Before, you were always surrounded by people. There was always someone. You were needed. Now the silence shows up, and it hurts. It hurts more than you like to admit. But understand this clearly. You are not alone because you have failed. You are alone because you are changing. No one prepares you for this moment. You were taught to avoid silence, to fill any empty space, to never be alone with your own thoughts. Because thinking hurts, remembering hurts, accepting hurts. The Stoics did not run from solitude, they embraced it. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but the hardest decisions he faced alone, inside his own mind. That is why he wrote, "Retreat into yourself." He knew that it is in silence that you find yourself. Solitude is not punishment, it is preparation. Maybe that explains what you are feeling today. You were always available. You helped, you listened, you gave advice, you carried others. When you decided to focus on yourself, many people disappeared. Not because you are a bad person, but because you stopped serving their needs. And that hurts. It hurts to discover this. Some people do not miss you. They miss what you used to give them. It is freeing to understand this. True power is built in isolation. Whoever needs company all the time becomes fragile, dependent, predictable. Whoever can bear solitude gains clarity, discipline, and is not easy to manipulate. Maybe you ask yourself, why do I feel this way if I am doing the right thing? The answer is hard, because you are growing, and growing is a lonely road. Not everyone is ready to walk beside you. Solitude is not abandonment, it is space. Space to think without noise, to heal without pressure, to build without interference. It is like a forge. The metal only grows stronger far from the applause, under heat and silence. That is where your values become clear, your boundaries take shape, and your character is formed. If you can endure this process, you will not need anyone else to feel whole. And that is freedom. Rule 6. Say nothing. Nobody has told you this clearly, but talking too much has already cost you dearly. It has cost you respect, it has cost you focus, it has cost you peace. Every unnecessary explanation has drained a little of your strength. Every justification has stolen a little of your clarity. Think honestly, how many times have you shared something with excitement only to receive silence, sarcasm, or an empty smile in return? In that moment, you felt it. Something closed off inside you. And right after came the thought, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. You were right. Not everything needs to be exposed in order to exist. The world is not necessarily interested in your growth. Some people only want to know where you stand so they can compare themselves, comment, or use your story when you're not in the room. Not because they are evil, but because that is simply how it works. And the person who understands this stops handing out information as if it were cheap currency. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Today I escaped from every disturbing circumstance, or rather, I cast it out, because it was not outside of me, but inside, within my own perceptions." He understood that deep thought needs protection, and that every premature exposure weakens what is still taking shape. Think of a seed. It does not grow any faster because you keep digging up the soil to check on it. It grows in the dark, in silence, in its own time. Every time you reveal a plan before its time, it is like digging up the soil to show the sprout. You interrupt the process that needed to happen out of sight. Processes do not need applause, they need consistency. Most people talk not because they have something to say, but because they cannot stand silence. They talk to fill the emptiness within. They talk to seem interesting. They talk to numb their restlessness. But whoever speaks out of restlessness only feeds the restlessness. Only silence can heal silence. Maybe you recognize this pattern. You are the one who always listens, helps, advises, who is always available. But when you are the one in need, no one shows up. Not because they do not care, but because you taught the world that your energy was always open, always within reach, always free of charge. Whoever talks too much hands over their own territory and then complains about the invasion. Whoever reveals the strategy too soon becomes vulnerable. Every time you announce what you are going to do, you give away an advantage. The world is not naive, and focus does not survive constant exposure. Silence is not coldness, it is the protection of what cannot yet be touched. Make a pact of strategic silence. Do not announce plans. Do not share goals. Do not put ongoing processes on display. Do not post about the gym. Do not talk about the book you are writing. Do not tell people about the project you are starting. Work in silence. When someone asks what you have been up to, simply answer, "A few projects." Nothing more. You will feel the withdrawal from exposure, and that withdrawal is precisely the symptom of the cure. This is where you stop chasing validation along the way and start building the only thing that truly impresses anyone, the finished result. Rule 7. The courage to act through faith. There is a comforting lie that fools many people. Have faith and everything will work out. Faith is powerful, yes. But faith without action does not transform lives, it puts them to sleep. Believing by itself is not enough. True faith always demands action. Pray, trust, believe, but be honest with yourself. How many times have you said, "God knows the right time. It will happen when it is meant to. I am waiting for a sign," when, in truth, you were simply avoiding a decision, not out of malice, but out of fear. You wrapped your paralysis in spiritual language and called it patience. The Bible does not teach passivity, it teaches action guided by faith. Noah built the ark before the rain. David walked toward Goliath before the victory. Peter had to step out of the boat before walking on the water. Faith always asks for a step outside the safe place. God opens the path, but you have to walk it. The Stoics reached the same principle in another language. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Stop arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." He was not waiting for the sky to open. He was not waiting for an external sign. He was not asking for perfect conditions. He did what needed to be done with what he had in the place where he stood. That too is mature faith, trusting while acting, not waiting while postponing. Opportunities do not show up for those who stand still and wait. It is like a door that only opens from the inside. No matter how much you pray for it to move on its own, someone has to turn the handle. And that someone is you. Waiting without acting is not faith, it is fear disguised as spirituality. Maybe you say, "I want to change my life, but I cannot." Then look at what you do every single day. You say, "I want to prosper," but you repeat the same decisions. You say, "I want peace," but you set no boundaries. You say, "I want direction," but you run from hard choices. And then you ask, why does God not answer? Maybe the answer has already come, and it is you who did not stand up. Seneca, in one of his letters, was blunt. While we put off living, life passes us by. Every day that you delay in the name of a divine sign is a day when grace already walked right past you, and you did not recognize it because you were expecting it to arrive with a neon sign. God does not bless intention, he blesses obedience. And obeying is almost always uncomfortable. It takes courage, and it asks you to leave behind older versions of yourself. Think of one single action you have been putting off in the name of waiting for the right moment. It could be a hard conversation, a financial decision, a step in your career, a boundary that needs to be set. And do it. Stop asking for more signs. Stop praying for more clarity. Stop waiting to feel ready. Clarity comes after the step, not before. Whoever waits for clarity to act, waits forever. Start turning faith into movement. With fewer pretty phrases, less passive waiting, fewer spiritual excuses, more action, more discipline, more consistency. Pray, yes, but get up and do. The world is full of people who believe, but empty of people who act. When faith and action walk together, fear loses its grip, doubt grows weak, and the path opens up. Real faith does not paralyze you. Real faith sets you in motion. Rule 8. What does saying yes cost you? Saying yes to everyone isn't generosity, it's self-sabotage. If you've been feeling tired, it isn't just because of work. It's because you said yes too many times when, deep down, you wanted to say no. Every forced yes is a small betrayal against yourself. It doesn't seem serious in the moment, but it builds up in layers that over time turn into burnout. Maybe this has already happened to you. You helped, even when you were exhausted. You listened to problems that weren't yours. You stayed available when what you needed was silence. And later you thought, why does no one take care of me the way I take care of others? The answer is simple and harsh, because you never taught people to respect your limits. People treat you exactly the way you've allowed them to treat you. Boundaries are like fences. When they don't exist, anyone walks in, steps around, takes up space, grabs what they want, and leaves. And then you complain about the invasion, but you were the one who left the gate open, smiling, with coffee already poured. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If you don't have a consistent purpose in your life will be governed by the purposes of others." He ruled the largest empire of the known world, and even so, he understood that time, even an emperor's time, is finite. And what you don't actively decide to do, someone else will decide for you, demanding, asking, taking up space. Think of someone you might know. They aren't busier than you. Maybe they even have fewer commitments. But no one dares ask absurd favors of that person. No one calls at an inconvenient hour. No one takes advantage of their time. Why? Because they taught in silence that their life is not public territory. Not through speeches, through posture. Every no given without guilt was a line drawn on the ground, and the world respects the lines you draw, as long as you don't erase them the next day. Seneca was surgical. It's not that we have little time, but that we waste much of it. And the ones who steal the most time from your life aren't the great tragedies. They're the small yeses said out of reflex, out of guilt, out of fear of displeasing. Every involuntary yes is a withdrawal from the account of your existence, and you're paying high interest on debts you never took out. What's available all the time loses its value. When you always say yes, you become predictable. When you become predictable, you become exploitable. Not because people are evil, but because that's how the human economy works. The abundant loses value, the scarce gains value. And your presence, your energy, your time should be treated as scarce resources, because they are. Saying no isn't rejecting people, it's protecting your own life. Anyone who takes offense at your limits wasn't worried about you, they were worried about the access they had to your life. That isn't friendship, it's convenience. And losing people who only wanted you available isn't a loss, it's a correction. Practice saying no directly, without an elaborate excuse, without a detailed justification, without a promise to make it up later. You're going to feel the discomfort, the guilt, the urge to take it back. Hold steady, because that discomfort is the sound of your self-respect being rebuilt. And when that rebuilding happens, you stop being endless availability and start being chosen presence. The world tolerates those who give themselves away, but respects those who govern themselves. You don't build a life by solving everyone else's problems. When you learn to say no to others, you begin, finally, to say yes to yourself. Rule 9. Turn your pain into your drive. Nothing that happens to you passes without leaving a mark. Everything teaches you something, even when it hurts. You've learned how to handle the good moments. When something goes right, you celebrate, you move forward, you gain energy. But nobody ever taught you what to do when something hurts. When pain shows up, most people just endure it. They swallow it, pretend they didn't feel it, try to forget. And that's where so many people lose themselves. Pain is unavoidable, but what you do with it is not. It can harden you, make you bitter, hold you back, or it can make you stronger. The difference isn't in what happened, it's in the choice you make afterward. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "The obstacle in the way becomes the way." In a single sentence, he tore down the logic that paralyzes most people. The obstacle isn't a detour, it's the direction. The stone that seemed to block the road was the road all along. Maybe someone betrayed you. Maybe you trusted too much. Maybe you gave more than you got back. That hurts. But understand this, the pain didn't come to break you, it came to wake you up. Pain is like fire. Whoever panics gets burned. Whoever understands it forges something stronger. Iron doesn't become steel without passing through the flames. And you, without pain, don't become who you need to be. Seneca warned, "The suffering you avoid comes back twice as heavy later on." Whoever runs from pain in the present pays interest on it in the future. But whoever walks through it comes out the other side with something nobody without scars ever has: clarity. Think of someone you know who has been through something heavy. They're not smarter, they're not stronger, but there's something in their eyes that other people don't have: clarity. That clarity didn't come from peace, it came from the crossing. Whoever has never taken hits from life speaks pretty words. Whoever has taken the hits and stood back up speaks the truth. The Stoic doesn't ask, "Why did this happen to me?" He asks, "What does this ask of me now? What do I need to change? What do I need to put an end to? What do I need to strengthen?" Because he understands what doesn't destroy you can discipline you. Feeling isn't the problem. The problem is turning pain into a home when it was only ever supposed to be a hallway. A victim is someone who moves into the wound. Whoever grows walks on through. Think of an old pain that still defines you. Grab a piece of paper and answer 3 questions. What is this pain teaching me? What is it asking me to put an end to? What is it asking me to strengthen? Don't answer with philosophy, answer with concrete action. And in the days ahead, carry out at least one of those actions. Don't cast yourself as the victim. Don't sit still, waiting for time to fix it. Don't turn suffering into your identity. Turn the pain into discipline, into direction, into a standard you live by. Because when you do that, the past stops chasing you. You stop being a hostage to whatever happens. It has finally served its purpose. The pain was never the problem. It was the warning. Rule 10. Rebuild yourself until you are unrecognizable. True transformation makes no noise. It does not announce itself. It does not ask for permission. It does not explain itself. It happens inside, in silence, long before it shows on the outside. It is like a root growing in the dark, strengthening the tree before any fruit ever appears. One day, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you notice something different. You do not react the same way. You do not explain everything the way you used to. You do not chase the same things, not because you have become better than anyone else, but because you have changed within. This kind of change does not come from books or from pretty quotes. It comes from real life. It comes from losses, from long silences, from hard decisions made when no one was watching. Marcus Aurelius was surgical when he said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Reputation is built in the dark, long before any audience shows up. Becoming unrecognizable begins the moment you stop talking about your values and start living them day after day. Think of someone you know who has truly changed. It was not because they announced it. It was not through therapy turned into social media content. It was in silence, through small decisions repeated over and over. One day, you looked, and the person was someone else, without ever giving any warning. Some people will find it strange. Others will pull away. Because when you change, you break the dynamic that used to benefit them. Before, you replied quickly. You explained everything. You were always available. Now you choose when to speak. You decide with a calm mind. You protect your energy, not out of pride, but out of responsibility to yourself. Seneca warned us, "As it is with a play, so it is with life." What matters is not how long the performance lasts, but how well it is acted. What matters is not how many years you live, it is who you become along the way. And whoever becomes someone new stops being who they once were, even in the eyes of those who knew them. Becoming unrecognizable is not about turning cold. It is about becoming steady. It is not about walking away from the world. It is about no longer losing yourself in it. Think of one single old behavior that still defines you, and let it go completely. It might be the automatic explanation, the yes you say out of guilt, the impulsive reply, the reflex of comparing yourself to others. Do not announce it to anyone. Simply practice the new version, in silence, every single day. Less noise, less reaction, less need for approval, more focus, more presence, more conscious silence. And then, something curious happens. One day, you will look at yourself in the mirror, and you will understand something. You did not change. You have finally shown up. Make the Stoic House part of your routine. A like, a share, and your subscription make all the difference. Thank you for watching.